He entered to rescue. The shadows pushed back, and the cost took shape. Hunt in the Shadows by Stephen Meehan. Solomon withdrew a photo from his vest, its corners worn. Even as he scanned the corridor, he studied the woman's features. The smile looked careless and alive. He covered her hazel eyes with his thumb and held them a second longer than necessary. He flipped the photo and reread the message. The ink pressed hard enough to leave grooves. Please save Sandra. Peering down the hall, he saw an ajar door. He folded the photo once and slid it back into place, as if returning something fragile to a vault, and retrieved a small periscope. He brought the device to his eye and inched closer. Through the gap, he saw a filthy woman chained to the far wall. It took him seconds to see through the grime, but he'd found Sandra. However, she wasn't alone. In the middle of the chamber, a different woman tended a bubbling cauldron. As she stirred the contents, she tossed in fresh ingredients. After swallowing a litany of curses, he tilted his periscope toward the ceiling, revealing 3 crouched shapes overhead. To her left, 3 winged creatures dangled from the ceiling, talons hooked into makeshift perches. As Solomon's scowl deepened, he let his gaze linger on the monsters, studying the scaled hide stretched over their bones. Solomon stepped away from the open door as he shoved his periscope back into its place. He ejected the magazine from his rifle and tucked it under his arm as he leaned against the wall, tilting his weapon toward the ceiling. He cupped his right hand over the ejection port while he pulled the charging handle back, ejecting the round from the weapon. After catching the bullet, he eased the breech closed and slid it into the magazine. He skimmed through the loaded magazines on his chest. When he found the one with a thin line of red electrical tape, he exchanged them. Solomon rolled his neck as he depressed the release and inserted the magazine. After removing his thumb, he tugged on the inserted mag, ensuring it was seated correctly before pulling the charging handle back to load his initial shot. With his weapon prepared for the encounter, Solomon took a deep breath before slipping his fingers into the opening. A heartbeat later, he flung the door open and hopped into the doorway, his rifle trained on the woman standing behind the cauldron. Despite keeping his weapon trained on the wiry and deranged woman, Solomon shifted his gaze to Sandra.
You're going to release the woman you kidnapped now.
Or what? You will shoot me? Your reputation precedes you. You slaughter beasts without hesitation, but you do not shoot people, even if you believe them to be wicked.
The woman added a measured pinch of powder to the cauldron. She finally lifted her eyes, filled with madness and certainty.
You're bound by meaningless morals.
It's not my preference.
Solomon's eyes narrowed as he drifted to his right, getting an unobstructed view of Sandra.
However, you won't sacrifice that young woman.
The woman shook her head as she rummaged through the contents beside the cauldron.
Please deal with him, my lovelies.
As eerie howls erupted overhead, Solomon whirled, finding the trio hurtling toward him. He swallowed several curses as he dove forward and rolled to his feet. Back on his feet, he spun and squeezed the trigger, missing the charging beast. Each shot thundered in the cramped chamber as a beast's talon clipped his shoulder in passing. When the 12th shot rang out, the last of the monstrous creatures collapsed. Instantly, Solomon leveled his weapon at the woman behind the cauldron. Unfortunately, she'd rushed over to Sandra and had hauled her to her feet. The witch pulled her captive in front of her as a shield.
I'm impressed. My lovelies shouldn't have dropped from a few bits of metal, no matter how deadly they're supposed to be.
Release Sandra now!
I don't think that'll happen,
The crazed witch said, brandishing a knife. She put the tip against the woman's chest as her lips curled into a snarl.
I have obligations I must honor, and they've selected this woman as their tribute.
I won't repeat myself.
How'd you dispatch my creation so easily?
Last warning!
They should not have fallen from a few shots from your rifle, not unless you brought something meant for more than flesh.
Her eyes flicked to his weapon.
You're not about to use that on me.
Solomon's finger tightened without moving. Then he squeezed the trigger. The bullet ended her half-formed argument. Silence filled the chamber, despite the simmering cauldron. Solomon focused on the witch's tattered form. His jaw tightened as the echo of the devastation faded. He eased the rifle down, as if reminding himself why he carried it. He turned toward Samantha and offered her a towel from his vest.
You're going to be okay. Let's go.
Who are you?
Her voice trembled as she tried to pull away, though her legs wobbled.
What are you going to do to me?
I am taking you home.
Solomon kept his voice steady.
Your family asked me to find you.
Her breathing hitched as she searched his face, trying to decide whether to believe him.
Does she have more of those monsters?
I'm not sure.
Solomon draped an arm around her back as he guided her out of the room.
However, if she did, they won't trouble us. But just in case, stay close to me.
Thank you.
Sandra hesitated before stepping closer, her fingers tightening in the fabric of his vest.
How did you deal with them?
Sardonic laughter tumbled out of Solomon's lips as they exited the small room. He tightened his grip around her waist as he guided and carried her down the hall.
I carry specific rounds for unique problems. When facing the unknown, I reach for one that leaves nothing behind.
What does that mean?
It means they came apart from the inside.
He said, without looking at the aftermath. With that, our story concludes. I hope you've enjoyed today's reprieve from your daily grind. If you like the vibe, hit that like button, drop a comment, and subscribe if you haven't already. Because every bit helps get this channel spread to those who require a momentary chance to unwind. I'll see you for the next tale, my friends. Thanks for reaching the end of the video. But why not keep the rhythm going? Pick one of the videos on screen and settle in for another moment of escape. And if you haven't yet, hit subscribe and tap the bell to get notified when new tales drop.